Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so in this video, we'll be doing some questions of standard form. So let's get straight into that. Okay, so question 1 part A says write 1.24 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 6 as an ordinary number. Okay, so part A says 1.24, so we could write that as 1.24 multiplied by 6 zeros, right? 1 with 6 zeros. That's basically the same thing, right? So because if you expand that, you'll get basically 1 million. Okay, so 1.24, right? So this will basically move the decimal point will move however many zeros there are. So there are 6 zeros, so this will move 6 spaces: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Right now, in these free spaces, we'll simply write 0. If there's not a number there, we'll write 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0. So, and our decimal point will come here, right? So our new number is 124 0, 0, 0, 0. So 1.24 million. That's the ordinary number. So that's the answer to part A. Part B says write the number 742,000 in standard form. Okay, so part B is 742,000. So we return this into standard form. So like we learned in the last video, we move the decimal point to in front of the first digit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We move 5 spaces, so that means B equals to 5 and A is 7.42. We don't need to write the zeros because after the decimal point they're useless. So this is our A, and then multiply by 10 raised to the power B, which we just learned is 5. So that is our answer. Part C says write 6.3 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 7 as an ordinary number. Okay, so it's not too difficult. What we'll do is we'll say, okay, what was the number? 6.3 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 7. So 10 raised to the power minus 7 is basically when the minus 7 will become positive when it comes to the denominator, right? So it will become like this, right? So 6.3 is basically being divided by 10 raised to the power 7. So instead of writing it as multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 7, I can just simply write it as 6.3 divided by 1 with 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 10 million, right? So 6.3 divided by 10 million. And if you know how to multiply or divide with decimals and with the zeros involved, what will happen is this decimal point, when divided, will go back however many zeros there are. So in this case, we'll go back 7 spaces, and just to show you, if you want me to show you, I can show you. What will happen is, if I write 6.3 here, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So zeros will come in place of this empty spaces, and the decimal point will come here. So 0.0 is basically 0 point, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, and then 6, 3. 0.00000063. That's the answer. Okay, so question 2. The first question says, first part says 9.9 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4, write it as an ordinary number. We just did a very similar question, so you can do this question on your own, inshallah, as practice. Try and solve the part A. Part B says write the number 0.068 in standard form. We did a similar question, but I'll solve this question still. 0.068. So basically, we need to, it's a smaller number, we need to take the decimal point all the way to in front of the first non-zero digit, right? So when we do that, how many spaces do we move? We move 1 and 2, right? So our B is not positive 2 but negative 2 because we're moving ahead and not behind, right? When it's a smaller number, our B will be 2, right? And A will be our new number, which is 6.8 multiplied by 10 raised to the power B, which is minus 2. So that is our answer. 6.8 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 2. Okay, so part C says work out the value of 6 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4. So these are two standard forms which we need to multiply. So let's solve it. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll expand both of these on their own and then we'll multiply them. So 10 raised to the power 3 is 1000, so 6 multiplied by 1000 is 6000, right? 9 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4, 10 raised to the power 4 is 10,000, so 9 multiplied by 10,000 is 90,000. Okay, so a little trick I do here, right? So instead of manually multiplying all the zeros and all this, what you do is you see, okay, we've got a lot of zeros and then we've got two non-zero digits, so you simply multiply the two non-zero digits, so we get 54, right? And since they're all zeros, we'll simply put them next to each other and our answer will be correct. That's it. So what you had to multiply was simply 9 and 6 and the rest was easy. So our answer is 540 million. Now the question says to convert the answer, to give the answer in standard form. So what we'll do is we'll convert it into standard form. What we'll do is okay, we got a digit. Okay, so we got a digit over here. We'll need to put it all the way in front of the 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So B is 8 and then A is 5.4 because that's the number we've got left. We don't need to put the zeros. Multiply by 10 raised to the power B, which is 8, right? That's one way of doing it. Okay, so one other way of doing it, instead of expanding these, right, what we could have done is we could have multiplied 6 and 9 and then multiplied 10 with the powers with each other. So 6 multiplied by 9 is 54. So, and if you've done indices, if you haven't watched my video on indices, you'll know then two numbers with the same base and different powers multiply, their powers add. So we've got 54 multiplied by 10. 3 plus 4 is 7. But we can't have our answer, a standard form does not allow for the A to be greater than 9, right? So it can't be two double digits, so it needs to be less than 10, right? So what we'll do is we'll convert this into standard form. We got 0 here, we got decimal point here. When we move one space here, we got 1, so B is 1 and A is 5.4. So when we convert that into standard form, we are left with 5.4 multiplied by 10 power 1, and then we've got 10 multiplied by 10 to the power 7. And if we again do the same thing we did in the previous thing, we add the powers, we're left with 5.4 multiplied by 1 plus 7 is 10 raised to the power 8, which is the same answer we got when we did it the other way. Okay, so we've done an example where we had to multiply two standard form numbers in standard form, right? What if we had to divide them? So we've got 4 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 6 divided by 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll convert this divide symbol into a fraction. What we'll do is we'll do 4 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 6 divided by 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4, right? And when we expand those numbers, right? When we expand those numbers, what we get is For 10 raised to the power 6 is million, so 4 multiplied by million is 4 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 2 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4, and 10 raised to the power 4 is 10,000. So 2 multiplied by 10,000 is 20,000. Right? So when we need to simplify this. So when we do that, we're left with 2 ones are, 2 twos are, so 2 and then 2 zeros. We're left with 200 as our answer, and the question says to give it in as an ordinary number, so our answer is 200. Another way we could have done the same question is just like we could have done it in two ways in the previous question. With the multiplication one, we could have done is we could have divided 4 and 2. We're left with 2 up here, and then we're left with 1 here, and then we could have divided these two, right? So when we divide two integers with the same base, two numbers with the same base and different integers, we subtract the integers. So we're left with 2 multiplied by 10. We could have, it's basically 2 divided by 1, but that's the same thing, right? So multiply by 10 raised to the power 6 minus 4, right? And 2 multiplied by 10, 6 minus 4 is 2, so 10 raised to the power 2, and 10 raised to the power 2 is 100. 2 multiplied by 100 is 200, which is the same number, the same answer we got when we did the other way.